CTV News Northern Ontario, a special presentation. Here's Ian Campbell.
Good evening and welcome to beautiful Ramsey Lake, deep inside the city of Sudbury. Tonight, it's the long weekend. It's the Victoria weekend, or maybe for you, it's just the day off work. We're doing something special to celebrate because after all, we want to wrap up this weekend on a high note and give you something a little fun to talk about at the water cooler tomorrow. Once again, we are covering the good news as part of our 6 and 11:30 newscasts. We're taking a look back over the last few months on some of the more positive things we covered because why not wrap up the weekend on a high note? Stories like a dog named Chewy, a trauma support dog who has helped countless of people. He's now celebrating a well-deserved retirement in the Nipissing region. Or there's stories about an athlete who, let's face it, had the entire town of Thessalon in her corner for the Olympics. But first, here's a little piece Amanda Hicks put together about a talented group of musicians who celebrated women in a unique fashion as part of International Women's Day.
It's a milestone 50 years in the making. For the first time, the Sault Symphony Orchestra's upcoming Voices of Innovation program is written exclusively by women.
I have 5 daughters and I'm married to a really fantastic violinist, and the world is really not fair for women, even though we think it might be. So we're trying to rectify that to some degree musically, right? We're not going to solve all the problems in one day, but at least we can do something that I think is a really honorable thing and play some great music by wonderful women composers.
A 36-piece ensemble will bring these historic compositions to life, showcasing a global program of works from Canadian, American, French, and German composers.
I'm always happy when somebody performs anything of mine. And yeah, I think especially for an International Women's Day concert, that's kind of appropriate, and it's nice to be kind of included among the composers that they're highlighting.
Joining the orchestra is guest soloist Anne Louise Turgeon. As a mother with daughters of her own in music, she says this performance is about more than just the notes on the page. It's about the future.
I want them to continue because, all the women out there who want to study music, any kind of music, any kind of art, anything, that to not be afraid and also to speak out.
I think quite a lot is being done actually to sort of help promote women composers, and this concert is an example of that. I think these concerts are important.
The Sault Symphony Orchestra says it is hoping to host similar programs featuring women. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Excited eyes took in the last event of Shiloh Russo's Olympic debut. The biathlete is believed to be the first ever Olympian from Thessalon, with the community rallying around her for each event the 25-year-old took part in.
We're really proud of Shiloh, for sure, my wife and I, and then not just us, but like I said, the whole community's proud of her.
It's huge for a town of this size. We used to see her roller skiing around town and running up Highway 129, and she used the Rod and Gun Club out in Little Rapids. So we've been seeing her working hard her whole life.
The odds of making it is like point and then 5 zeros, 17. That's the odds of somebody making it to the Olympics with the population.
Russo's final event of the 2026 Games was as the second leg of the 4x6 kilometer relay. Overall, Shiloh told her parents she had hoped for better results this Olympics, but in her last appearance in Milano Cortina, the Thessalon native started 19th and at one point moved Team Canada into 9th. Not only did Thessalon follow along for each of her events, they helped make it happen with multiple fundraisers.
This is a very expensive sport, traveling through Europe and that. So people, businesses in town and the North Shore and individual people have stepped up and helped her out. And that's why she is where she is today, because of all the people behind her.
Shiloh just says, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, she said she was happy she had a good leg today.
While it's still too early for Shiloh to decide if she'll try to compete at the next Winter Olympics, she's already made history in her community. Her family and friends say Rousseau has proven to children in any small town like Thessalon that they too can make their dreams a reality if they put in the time and effort. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Thessalon.
It's a family affair behind the counter at Damascus Shawarma. The Carcous family is busy sharing their special day with their customers.
When I came here, me and my wife, I have 3 children. Only my family. Now I have big family, Sudbury, now my family.
Exactly 10 years ago today, the family arrived to begin their new lives in Canada. They were the first Syrian refugee family in Sudbury during a time when Canada helped to resettle tens of thousands fleeing the war-torn country.
Since we have came to Sudbury, we have never ever felt like outsiders, and the community of Sudbury has always made us feel like we're in home.
The 3 boys began learning English in school while Hussein used his skills as a baker. Nabil, who was almost 10 when they arrived, says he didn't know what to expect in this country.
We stopped at a bus in Beirut, and I tried to actually run away and go to my uncle because I didn't want to come. I was nervous. I didn't know what Canada was. Since I've been to Lebanon and Syria and I saw the situation, I thank God that I came with my family and we came to this beautiful country.
In 2018, the family opened the restaurant first downtown and then to this location on LaSalle Boulevard. When they first arrived as refugees, they were sponsored by St. Andrew's Church. A few friends came today to help the family celebrate.
I'm delighted that they've established this business, which seems to be so busy and successful. And, we watched the boys grow up and the little girl.
I am very happy, and I'm working hard for Sudbury for open my business. And my children, he go to school. Everyone's safe.
It doesn't seem like the Carcous family plans on slowing down. They all say they want to expand the business. And when asked where he sees himself 10 years from now, Hussein Carcous said, God willing, with 10 Damascus locations. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Chewy the dog has earned himself more than a few treats and a long overdue break.
He was very excited. He recognizes everybody here.
Over the years, he's brought comfort to those who've needed it.
Those who work in this field, who experience this amount of trauma day in and day out, absolutely need support, and that's some of his biggest impact.
Chewy was originally trained to be a bomb-sniffing dog in the United States, but it didn't pan out. Then he found his true calling, trauma support. So when he was 2 years old, he donned the vest happily, tail wagging, joining victim services, full of energy and ready to put his nose to the grindstone.
Chewy's being a wonderful work partner. It's wonderful going to work with him and just seeing what a positive difference he makes in other people's lives.
Much of his work took place quietly and privately. He sat with thousands of crime victims, children, and first responders during some of their most difficult moments, supporting them during interviews, crisis response, or outreach support.
He carried out that mission flawlessly in exchange for nothing more than a gentle scratch behind the ears.
He's absolutely proud of the job he does and likes to show folks how well he can do it.
One of the places Chewy often visited was the Nipissing Transition House, showing love to women and children fleeing violence.
When you're with a counselor, you probably have to do a little bit of talking about your situation and what's happening and how you feel. And Chewy, it was just him there allowing us to be grounded and mindful.
Chewy's legacy will continue through the ongoing Trauma Support Dog program and the next canine support dog in training, preparing to follow him in his paw prints.
And in the next few days, we'll be announcing his successor, coming from the Canadian Lions Club for guide dogs, so it's a really exciting new partnership.
So what's next for Chewy as he packs it in? Well, it's safe to say he'll be getting a lot of
pets, lots of treats, lots of walks.
A well-earned retirement for one understanding and caring pup. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Chewy is such a good boy. I hope he gets all the bones and pets he deserves in his retirement. Thank you for your service, kind sir. There's more to come. Stay with us, including my sit down with former CFL player Enoch Mwamba. He and I did something very special earlier this month, and we brought with us some deserving kids in tow, including kids here from the north. Stay with us. You're watching The Good News this May long weekend. Welcome back. Earlier this month, 169 children from our province were given the adventure of a lifetime. Disney World. Dreams Take Flight takes children who have experienced physical, social, emotional, or mental challenges in their lifetime and places them in the happiest place on earth in a 24-hour whirlwind adventure. I've been a longtime fan and volunteer of this organization, and this year was lucky enough to see Northern Ontario children on board. They came from places like Wigwamcong, Sudbury, even Chapleau. Also on board, retired CFL player and TSN analyst Enoch Mwamba. Enoch and I sat down earlier to chat about our experience. Here's part of that conversation. All right, Enoch, we are just a few days since returning to Toronto. I guess one of the big important questions I have to ask you is, have you caught up on your sleep yet? I think it took me a couple days.
You know what? Not yet, but it's okay. No, the thing is, this is such a worthwhile trip for me that it's not even an issue how it for lack of a better term, destroys my days leading up actually afterwards after the trip. So, but I'm good. I'm all good. I cannot complain.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of those things where you really have to experience it to believe it. I think I write off the entire week because there's just brain fog for the rest of the week. If you're up, in some cases, some of us up 24, 30 hours. But what an unbelievable experience. This was your third trip, my seventh. You did 2 with Halifax, 1 with Toronto. Walk me through how this trip with Toronto went for you, your big takeaways.
No, it was awesome. It was awesome. And it was great to have been partnered with great other chaperones who have been very much experienced and some who are a little bit newer. But the whole team has always been, very much gracious and amazing when it comes to the interactions that you have with all of the kids that do get up on this flight and on this trip. So it's been amazing. And for myself in particular, a little group that we had from the Etobicoke region, I was with Marissa as well as Maria, as well as Varun from Etobicoke, and it was awesome. Getting some time to spend with some of the kids, and it's always cool and neat that you get to meet the group early in the morning, bright and early at the airport, and then everyone's a little shy, everyone's a little bit reserved and kept to themselves until the day gets going and we get on the plane and the excitement starts to build up and you finally get to Disney World and it's just an amazing experience. I mean, if you haven't been, especially to Disney World and stepping foot there for the first time, there are just so many things to want to discover. And, all we have is space and opportunity and time once we get there early in the morning. So it's always a great experience. And it was, again, the same thing for this last trip that I took with the Toronto chapter.
I love that. You had the Etobicoke kids. I had the Northern Ontario kids. It truly, for anyone who's watching this that's not familiar or hasn't had a chance to do it, I know word is getting out here about it in Northern Ontario now. It really is a marathon, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. You know what, Ian, you mentioned this is your 7th time. I wish you had given me some more tips prior to the trip, but you know what? I'm telling myself now, when I'm going to do it again next year, I'm going to prep for it. I'm going to start training before the trip and then, come back and do some more training just to kind of recuperate. But you talk about it being a marathon. It really is, and when you do it right and you come there to serve and to support and to be there for these young kids, it's time consuming, yes. It's very much energy consuming because you want to give it your all.
We're down to about the last minute or so, but I'm curious. I know you work with a lot of kids in the Greater Toronto area through your not-for-profits, and now seeing this through the Dreams Take Flight lens, I'm wondering what message would you give to others that when it comes to the trip, the difference this makes or the impact this makes in the child's life?
No, again, like for me, whenever I share my journey and having played professional football for over a decade and all the accolades that may have came with it and the success that came with it, for me, it's never really been about the football itself. It's never been about the trophies and the wins and even the losses. To me, really, it's about the lessons that I learned while I played football. And there are so many that I love to share with young kids and eager students that want to learn. So this is part of my DNA to be able to do that, to share on with the next generation. And the opportunity that Dream Take Flight offers is a unique one as well. So, it allows the kids to be in a different environment, and it allows them to explore new opportunities. And literally, exactly as the title of or the name of the organization is exactly what this has the potential to do. A lot of the times, it allows some of the kids to literally ignite a new dream within them. And to me, that's where everything begins.
Absolutely. Enoch, thank you so much. And get some rest. We're going to need you well rested for trip number 4 next year.
I'm getting ready already for next year. I'm starting to train, Ian. We gotta get in the weight room together to get ready for that.
100%. Thanks so much, Enoch.
Awesome. Thank you, Ian.
My thanks to Enoch. To see our full discussion, our full conversation, head to our website at CTV News Northern Ontario.ca. And Northern Ontario falls under Dreams Take Flight's Toronto chapter. So to learn more about what this incredible not-for-profit does, you can find that on their website at yyz.dreamstakeflight.ca. My thanks to Air Canada and the incredible team of volunteers for once again making magic happen. Stay with us. There is more to come when we return. You're watching The Good News this May long weekend. Welcome back. Curling rocks Sudbury, pun intended. But if you're a northerner and if you're watching this, chances are you are, or you have a connection to the north, then you might be a fan of hockey. You either played this sport, you have a kid in hockey, or you just sit down and you're a big fan of what they do. Well, Madison Marier got a chance a little earlier to meet arguably one of Greater Sudbury's biggest Habs fans, Montreal Canadiens fan, for those of you not in the know, and he showed her his man cave during the playoff run.
Eric Lafreniere has been a fan of the Habs since childhood.
My grandfather on my mom's side was a big Montreal Canadiens fan, and one day he decided to take the train with his friends, and they went to Montreal at the Montreal Forum, and unfortunately at the age of 52 he had a heart attack as he was handing in his ticket at the game, and he passed away right there in the Montreal Forum.
The loss of his grandfather further ignited his family's love for the team, even memorializing his grandfather on a brick outside the arena.
I contacted them when I got to Montreal, and they presented me with a nice frame with the game sheet of the game my grandfather missed, because he was handing in his ticket when he's passed away, so he missed a game. So they gave me the game sheet, the official game sheet, framed with a memory of Joe LaPrairie at the bottom of the game sheet, and a nice handwritten letter.
The team has been a part of his family his whole life, which is why he dedicated his garage to the Habs, much to his wife's chagrin.
I had to ask her politely if she can not park in the garage, because this is where we watch our games. It was a hard sell. However, part of the agreement is that I have to go out and make sure her car is warm for her in the winter and take the snow off.
But Lafreniere said she is happy she no longer has to hear them watch the game, as he and his son get a little rowdy, and during the playoffs it hits a new level.
I've had a lot of people here last Friday. It was a packed house. It was standing room only in here, and my friends, I had friends and family in here watching the game. It was incredible. I even had a neighbor in the back call me out and say they could hear us cheering from inside my garage.
The Habs losing their first game didn't get Lafreniere down. He's even bringing his interior decorating outside to change his exterior lights to shine Habs colors during the games. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
8 teams, 2 from Ontario, 1 from Quebec, and 4 from Alberta, are battling it out to see which will represent Canada at the World Junior Mixed Doubles Championship to be played in Edmonton in May.
This is only our second year of being able to send a team to the World Championship. So, these are 8 very, very skilled players. So it's exciting, especially to come to Sudbury, be in an arena. It's such a nice facility here, and just watching the first draw here, the ice and rocks look fantastic.
This will be the second time Curl Sudbury will host a national event in the last 3 years. And while it's hard to know the exact number of people coming to town for the events, city officials estimate the economic impact will be between $800,000 to $1 million.
Sudbury's such a big curling community. Just about anyone you talk to, anyone you know, everyone loves curling. Everyone either watches it or plays it. So we felt that we almost owed it to the community that we want to keep bringing these events to town.
I mean, we know for sure sometime this week we're going to see future Olympians. So whether it's in mixed doubles or the men's and women's next week. And what's really nice is we have our Olympic gold Paralympic champion Mark Idison coaching here this week, which is super exciting. Nice for the kids to be able to see that, and you know, just the Sudbury area with the Horgans and Tracy coming back with their bronze. You know, so I think there's a lot of excitement because it's like, hey, I can do this too.
The U21 Mixed Doubles Championships wrap up on the 27th, with the U20 Championships taking place the next day and will run until April 4th. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
While the warm temperatures today may have prevented Bonnie Zagrodny-Lloyd and Dorianne Goodmurthy from an outdoor skate, just 2 weeks ago, the hockey players who are set to turn 70 and 63 traveled to our nation's capital to live out a plan etched by Zagrodny-Lloyd to commemorate her upcoming milestone birthday.
When we were playing with our team in provincials senior games, another teammate who just turned 65, the baby of the crew, did 65 kilometers on the Rideau Canal where she lives in Ottawa. And I thought, that's exactly what I want to do.
As you get older, you kind of change in thought, mind. Like, you don't say, oh, I got lots of time, I could do it again. No, time is ticking, right? So we're thinking, let's do it. Let's do it. Why not?
So the two, joined by friends in Ottawa, spent the day skating a kilometer for each revolution they've done around the sun. They took in some very Canadian snacks while enjoying one of Canada's most famed National Historic Sites.
That was my first time on the Rideau, so all the ambiance of the Rideau is there, and it's just so inspiring. And, you know, with friends that are really supportive and excellent to be around, that was inspiring in itself. And so when we're skating, it's the freedom of the skate.
While the company made things easier, in all, it was a marathon day on the ice.
It was a good feeling. I was glad it was over. But after, 6.5 hours?
6 hours, 19 minutes, okay, to be precise.
Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Chugging into the station and stepping off one of 3 new 169-seat Northlander train sets returning to the tracks in the coming months.
This is a long time coming.
Premier Doug Ford is tooting his government's horn about the promised passenger rail revival project, 14 years after it was cancelled under the previous government.
This is the best announcement the North has ever seen since I've been elected.
The province is getting close to completing what's called the burn-in testing on the first train set, which has traveled more than 1,600 kilometers to simulate regular service.
We're spending a tremendous amount of money for people that would never, ever have an opportunity to hop on the train.
The train will soon enter the next phase of testing and commissioning, where staff will be trained on the equipment and run emergency exercises to make sure all safety and operating systems are working properly.
This is such an important service for our northern communities. It connects people to jobs, education, medical appointments.
The second train set will soon start its own testing and commissioning, with Ontario Northland saying a full relaunch is coming in the next few months.
We won't announce that start date until we are confident that we can operate a safe, accessible service throughout the North.
The anticipated launch fares are approximately 10% above the standard rate of travel on an Ontario Northland bus. For example, a ticket from Toronto to Timmins and Cochrane will cost about $188, with reduced price for seniors, students, military personnel, and people who need to travel for medical purposes.
People want an affordable ticket, so we priced a fair price for this wonderful service.
The Northlander will travel 740 kilometers between Timmins and Toronto, with a rail connection to Cochrane for a total of 16 stops.
You have a choice between that bus and this. night and day.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
I know there are likely a lot of Northerners watching and waiting with bated breath for that train service to resume. Hopefully we get a date soon, but it has been very cool seeing the Northlander do those test runs up here so far. That is the end of our news special tonight. We hope you saw something that leaves you with the warm fuzzies, something maybe you missed the first time around we aired it, or maybe something that has you talking about it the next day tomorrow at the office. Thanks so much for watching. We hope you have a wonderful Victoria Day, a very happy and safe long weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow from the news desk. Good night.